Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Ever feel like you're secretly standing in your own way? Like there's an invisible force holding you back from what you truly want? You're definitely not alone. We're talking about something called self-sabotage today, and here's the kicker. It is often so silent and subtle that we don't even realize we're redoing it. But it is incredibly powerful. It creeps into our daily habits, our thought processes, and our decisions, slowly eroding our confidence and keeping us from reaching our full potential. Today, we're going to expose this sneaky behavior, not by shaming it, but by understanding it and dismantling it. We're going to unveil 5 powerful awareness shifts that will help you recognize when you're self-sabotaging and, more importantly, give you the tools to stop it in its tracks. This isn't about fixing something that's broken within you. It's about unlocking the incredible potential that's already there, just waiting to be unleashed. So, let's dive in and start building a more supportive, successful version of yourself, shall we? Alright, let's kick things off with our very first awareness shift. This one is foundational, and it's all about becoming a keen observer of your own life. Shift 1. Notice your patterns. Think about it. Do you find yourself consistently backing out of opportunities at the last minute? Do you start projects with incredible enthusiasm, only to abandon them just before completion? Maybe you always find an excuse why now isn't the right time to pursue that dream, or why you're not quite ready for that next step. Perhaps you always seem to find drama right when things are going smoothly, or you procrastinate on important tasks until the pressure is unbearable. These aren't random occurrences. They're often recurring patterns of self-sabotage. The first step to untangling these patterns is simply to acknowledge them without judgment. It's not about beating yourself up. It's about cultivating a gentle, curious awareness. Start paying attention to your reactions, your excuses, your habits. When do these behaviors tend to show up? Is it when you're close to a breakthrough? When you're feeling overwhelmed? When success feels a little too close for comfort? Journaling can be an incredible tool here. Just jot down what happened, how you felt, and what action you took or didn't take. Over time, you'll start to see themes emerge. This isn't about identifying flaws. It's about identifying opportunities for growth. Awareness is truly the very first, and arguably the most crucial step towards creating lasting change. You can't change what you don't acknowledge, right? So let's become detectives of our own lives and pinpoint those recurring loops. Now, for our second powerful awareness shift, and this one addresses a huge driver of self-sabotage, fear. Shift 2. Separate fear from fact. So much of what holds us back isn't reality. It's our perception of it, filtered through a lens of anxiety and worry. We often catastrophize outcomes, imagining the worst-case scenario with such vivid detail that it feels undeniably real. What if I fail? What if they laugh at me? What if I'm not good enough? These questions, while natural, can spiral into paralyzing narratives that convince us not to even try. Our minds are incredibly powerful storytellers, and sometimes they tell us stories that just aren't true. It's essential to learn how to distinguish between genuine, immediate threats, like a car swerving towards you, and the hypothetical, often exaggerated fears that our minds conjure up. When a fearful thought arises, instead of immediately accepting it as truth, try to pause and ask yourself, is this a fact, or is this a feeling? What evidence do I actually have to support this fear? Is there another, more optimistic or neutral interpretation of this situation? Most of the time, you'll find that the fear is based on assumptions, past experiences, or anxieties about the unknown rather than concrete evidence. Practice grounding yourself. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that a thought is just a thought, not necessarily reality. By challenging these fearful narratives, you begin to weaken their hold and create space for more empowering beliefs to take root. You're not ignoring potential risks. You're just making sure your imagination isn't dictating your reality. Alright, let's move on to our third game-changing insight. This one is a big one for so many of us who often get stuck in analysis paralysis. Shift 3. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start when I have more time, or I'll launch this project once everything is perfectly organized, or I need to learn just one more thing before I begin? We often create elaborate mental checklists of prerequisites that must be met before we feel ready to take action. The problem? Perfect conditions rarely, if ever, materialize. Life is inherently messy, unpredictable, and imperfect. This constant waiting becomes a subtle form of self-sabotage because it keeps us from ever starting. It's an excuse disguised as preparation. The truth is, the best way to learn, to grow, and to move forward is by actually doing. So, here's the antidote. Start messy, start now, embrace imperfection. Your first attempt at anything doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be a start. Think of it as a first draft. It's okay if it's rough around the edges, if you don't have all the answers, or if your environment isn't ideal. The act of beginning generates momentum, provides invaluable feedback, and builds confidence. You learn as you go, you adapt, and you iterate. Don't let the pursuit of perfection become the enemy of good, or even just good enough to get going. Take that small, imperfect step today, and watch how quickly perfect conditions become less of a requirement and more of an afterthought. Now for our fourth crucial shift, and this one touches on something deeply personal for many of us. Shift 4. Forgive your past self. We all make mistakes. We've all had moments where we wish we'd acted differently, made a better choice, or avoided a particular outcome. And often, we carry the weight of these past actions, using them as evidence that we are somehow fundamentally flawed, incapable, or undeserving of success. This self-blame and past regret can be a powerful engine of self-sabotage, convincing us that there's no point in trying again or that we're destined to repeat our errors. But here is the liberating truth. Your past self was doing the best they could with the resources, knowledge, and emotional capacity they had at that moment. They weren't failing. They were surviving. They were learning. Every past decision, even the ones you regret, contributed to who you are today. And those experiences taught you valuable lessons, even if they were painful ones. Holding on to resentment towards your past self is like dragging a heavy anchor behind you. It prevents you from moving forward with lightness and optimism, so actively practice self-compassion. Acknowledge your past choices without judgment. Understand that you've grown and evolved. Offer forgiveness to that younger, less experienced version of yourself, just as you would a dear friend. Release the burden of past mistakes, not to excuse them, but to free yourself to build a brighter future. You are not defined by your past errors. You are defined by what you choose to do next. And finally, our fifth and perhaps most challenging awareness shift, but also one of the most rewarding. Shift 5. Choose progress over comfort. Our brains are hardwired for comfort and familiarity. It's a survival mechanism. Anything new or challenging is perceived as potentially threatening. This is why growth often feels inherently uncomfortable. Stepping outside your comfort zone, trying something new, facing a fear, or pushing past your perceived limits, these actions trigger a natural resistance. And often, our self-sabotaging behaviors are just clever ways our minds try to pull us back into what feels safe and familiar, even if safe also means stagnant. Recognize that discomfort is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's usually a sign that you're doing something right. It's the feeling of growth, of stretching, of expanding your capabilities. When you feel that urge to retreat, to procrastinate, to make an excuse, or to choose the path of least resistance, that's your cue to consciously choose progress instead. It might be challenging. It might not feel good in the moment. But the long-term rewards of growth, resilience, and achievement far outweigh the temporary satisfaction of staying comfortable. Embrace the awkwardness, the uncertainty, and the effort. Remind yourself that growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone, not in the middle of it. This isn't about constant struggle. It's about intentionally leaning into moments of discomfort, knowing they lead to incredible expansion. So there you have it. 5 powerful awareness shifts to help you conquer self-sabotage and truly step into your potential. Remember, you are not broken. You are simply in the process of becoming, of evolving, of shedding old patterns that no longer serve you. Self-sabotage isn't a life sentence. It's a set of habits that can be unlearned, replaced by conscious choices that empower you. By noticing your patterns, separating fear from fact, stopping the wait for perfection, forgiving your past self, and choosing progress over comfort, you're not just changing your behaviors. You're transforming your entire mindset. This journey takes patience, self-compassion, and consistent effort. But every step you take makes you stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the incredible person you're meant to be. If you found these insights helpful, please hit that like button. Share this video with someone who might need to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for weekly mindset upgrades and actionable strategies to help you live your most empowered life. I'm so grateful you joined me today, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Keep shining, keep growing.